Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Edge Hill University. My name is Clive Edwards. I'm Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the Board of Governors at Edge Hill. It's now my pleasure to declare that this ceremony for the conferment of degrees is open.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, colleagues, family, friends, and of course graduands, welcome. My name is Linda Brady, and it's my great privilege to deliver this opening address to celebrate the achievements of our graduands who have studied for qualifications in sport and physical activity. We are also delighted to be joined today by Dr. Zoe Williams, who will be receiving an honorary doctorate at this ceremony. Like many of my colleagues in the room, I have lost count of the number of graduation ceremonies I have attended in almost 30 years in academia. This is the 14th and final one of this week. But no matter how many I attend, every single one feels special. It is a privilege to share the unalloyed pride and joy, and sometimes slight terror, of you, our students, and of your family, friends, and of all of our colleagues in the university who have supported you to get here. We love the weird and wonderful rituals and the fabulous robes and hats, which make us look like extras in a Harry Potter movie. But most of all, we love what these events represent. The collective celebration of the years of hard work, the hours you have spent in lectures, seminars, clinics, on sports pitches, in schools, in sports clubs, and the times you have sat up until 3 a.m. to finish an assignment or revise for an exam the next day. Did you think we didn't know about that? We've all done it too. And of course, in addition to all of this, you face the unprecedented challenges of the pandemic, which made us question everything we had always assumed about education, about how we learn, where we learn, what we learn, and you and your excellent tutors rapidly adapted to carry on, even navigating the challenges of practice to be sitting here today. So you should rightly feel enormously proud of all you have achieved. But we know that there are many others who have helped you along the way, and today is also a time to thank those who have provided support in many different ways over the years of your education. Educational, practical, emotional, and doubtless financial. I'm sure many of those are in this room today, but some will not be. So, how best to celebrate this achievement? Would you like to talk about politics? Looks of horror. I will keep it brief. But 3 years ago this week, I stood here to deliver a very similar opening address. We were in the midst of a Tory leadership election. Sound familiar? It was the day before Boris Johnson was elected leader of the Conservative Party and therefore Prime Minister. It was the only speech I've ever given which has generated a complaint to the Vice-Chancellor. But I'm going to risk it again, toned down, because I feel it's more relevant than ever. In that speech, I referenced an article that had been published in The Guardian. It was written by Max Hastings, who had been, as editor of the Daily Telegraph, Boris Johnson's boss. It was entitled, "I was Boris Johnson's boss. He is utterly unfit to be Prime Minister." In the article, Hastings states of Johnson, and I quote, "There is room for debate about whether he is a scoundrel or mere rogue, but not much about his moral bankruptcy, rooted in a contempt for truth. He cares for no interest save his own fame and gratification." We'll all have our own views about whether Max Hastings was right, but it feels like it is not a uniquely held view. There are about 50 million adults in the UK, so what fascinates me is how Boris Johnson, of all of them, ended up as Prime Minister. I think it's reasonable to say that he has not demonstrated that he is an unparalleled genius, nor that he has rare and special leadership skills deserving of the highest office. Nor, if Hastings is to be believed, does he have a sense of compassion nor morality. So what does he have? Well, he was born in New York City to extremely wealthy parents. He was educated at Eton College and then at Balliol College, Oxford. Of course, these twists of fate of who we're born to and where we're born make a big difference to our life chances. But it seems likely that the single biggest reason that Boris Johnson became Prime Minister was because he always believed that he could. He was born with a sense of entitlement and had instilled to him, almost from birth and throughout his education, a sense of confidence that anything was possible, even if that placed him in a position well beyond his capabilities. So he basically believed it was his right to be Prime Minister, and he made others believe that too. Most of us are not born to huge privilege, and nor are we raised with a sense of entitlement. And whilst a surprising number of people apparently do want to be Prime Minister, most of us do not. But as you graduate today, I want to encourage you to think about what you do want from life and to be confident and ambitious in striving for it. As you will encounter throughout your working life, very often what differentiates those who are successful is not that they are more intelligent nor more skilled than anyone else, but that they are more confident, more driven, have more self-belief, and occasionally work harder than others. That doesn't mean feeling superior or acting superior in any way, but it does mean believing in your own abilities and putting yourself outside of your comfort zone to test them. So why should you have self-belief? Education transforms lives. Gaining your qualifications and the skills and capabilities you have developed whilst at university are incredibly valuable. Although you may not have noticed it, you will be a different person to the one you were when you started your studies. You walk away from university not only with your qualification, but with a whole range of skills and capabilities which are incredibly valuable in life and to employers. You can plan and organise, critique and problem solve, negotiate, compromise, stand your ground, and you have confidence in your own ideas and your ability to communicate them in a range of ways, a skill that your loved ones may not always thank us for cultivating. These skills really matter, and not everyone has them. Before you had them, you probably admired them more than you do now. But do value them now and do work on them. Believe in yourselves and the things that you can do, as that will be key to helping you to get where you want to be, wherever that may be. It is proven that graduates are happier, healthier, and make a broader contribution to society than non-graduates. It's likely that you will have opportunities not available to your grandparents or parents, so make the most of these opportunities. Success should not be the exclusive domain of those who happen to be born to great wealth and privilege. It is available to us all if we believe in ourselves, value our skills and capabilities, and are prepared to test ourselves. To quote Michelangelo, "The danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but setting our aim too low and succeeding." So today, be proud of all you have achieved, enjoy your moment, and then go forth, aim high, and be happy. Congratulations, enjoy your day.
Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Zoe Williams was born on the 3rd of April 1980 in Burnley, Lancashire, and is the second child of parents Marilyn and Linton. Zoe grew up in Nelson, Lancashire, and went to St Paul's Primary School in Nelson. She then attended Mansfield High School before moving on to Nelson and Colne College, also in Nelson, where she studied A-levels in biology, chemistry, and maths. Despite suffering with asthma, being extremely shy and lacking confidence when young, Zoe quickly developed a passion for competitive sport from an early age, after her paediatrician strongly urged that this would help her both with her asthma and her confidence. It started with dance, and later she competed in netball, athletics, and hockey at county level. She enjoyed these sports greatly because of the way physical activity made her feel, and she loved the friendships and camaraderie that came with playing sport. After leaving college, Zoe took some time out of education. She gained a wide range of work experience, ranging from being a landscape gardener to a healthcare assistant in hospital and nursing home settings. She even worked as a holiday rep in Iron Appa. Zoe's love of sport and being active continued at university, where she studied medicine as a mature student, inspired by her grandmother, Inez, a Jamaican-born midwife in Burnley. She was also inspired by doctors who had treated her asthma as a child, and this is something which she would revisit later in her career. Zoe graduated from the University of Newcastle upon Tyne Medical School in 2007, having passed with merit. During her time at university, Zoe played rugby union and later represented Northumberland, as well as Blaydon Women's Rugby Club at Premiership National League level. As a doctor, she gained experience working in various specialist areas, including accident and emergency, cardiology, respiratory and acute medicine, surgery, oncology, and gynecology. Zoe now works as an NHS GP in London and combines this with many other non-clinical roles, including TV work, championing physical activity, and charity work. Zoe is a national advisor to Public Health England's Physical Activity Postgraduate Education Programme, and as clinical champion leads on work to promote physical activity and healthy lifestyle with the Royal College of General Practitioners. She was also a clinical lead for obesity and lifestyle medicine for Southwark CCG and a director and founding member of the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine. Given her commitment to promoting the multiple benefits of leading a physically active and healthy lifestyle, it is perhaps unsurprising that Zoe was named on the Pulse Power 50 list as one of the country's most influential GPs. As well as dedicating her life to medicine as a GP, Zoe has always been keen to combine this role with her interest in health and fitness and desire to pursue a career in the media. Her first experience of TV came in 2009, during her second year as a qualified doctor, when she was selected to be Sky One's undefeated gladiator, Amazon, when the TV show Gladiators was relaunched. This has been followed by her appointment as a resident GP on ITV's popular daytime show This Morning, and her other presenting roles have included those on BBC News, Horizon, and Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. In all these capacities, Zoe has been concerned with debunking the confusing world and myths of medicine in a down-to-earth and straightforward manner for the public. Should being a GP, friend of Phil and Holly on This Morning, and a public speaker on all things health and well-being not be enough, in 2009, Zoe founded Sports Girls, an organisation which aims to increase the physical activity of teenage girls by inspiring, educating, and motivating them to be more active and physically and mentally healthier. In 2013, this work was expanded to include boys, and the organisation was renamed Fit for Life. Building on this, 4 years later in 2017, Zoe founded the non-profit organisation Fit for Life CIC, which seeks to have a positive impact on young people from the most disadvantaged backgrounds by helping them to create their own physical activity programmes to improve their health, well-being, and boost their life chances. Last year, Fit for Life gained charity status, and the great work continues. These are all values and actions which correspond very closely with the work of Edge Hill, especially our long-standing and award-winning work on supporting the physical activity and mental health of children and young people in our local schools and communities. It also reflects our wider commitment to positively changing and shaping the futures of our students through sport and physical activity, and through our commitment to supporting their health and transformative potential in education. In a post-COVID-19 world where the cost of living and other sources of inequality continue to impact our individual and collective health and well-being, Zoe's work will certainly be critical in supporting the future lives of our young people locally and nationally. But Zoe's commitment to supporting public health and well-being does not stop there. Among other things, she is currently campaigning to end weight stigma and discrimination, including hair discrimination in schools, highlighting the life-saving importance of cervical screening and supporting parents and families to identify paediatric wheeze in young children who have asthma. She really is the all-round GP. Away from work, Zoe gave birth to her son, Lisbon Lyon Williams Mackay, on the 31st of May 2021, weighing 8 pounds. Lisbon was named after Zoe and her partner, Stuart, first met at a bar in Lisbon, Portugal, in 2019. We were assured Zoe wasn't working as a waitress at that particular cocktail bar, but Lisbon certainly has a great story and name to explain when he grows up and frequents a Portuguese star in the future himself. Accompanying Zoe today is her proud father, Linton Williams, and his partner, Julie, who sat on the front row here. Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Deputy and Pro-Vice-Chancellors, graduates, colleagues, guests and friends, it is my great privilege to present Dr. Zoe Williams for the award of Honorary Doctor of Science.
Some important words. By the authority vested in me as the Vice-Chancellor of Edge Hill University, I hereby confer the award of Honorary Doctor of Science upon the outstanding Dr. Zoe Williams. Congratulations. Well done. Over to you,
Pro-Chancellor, firstly, thank you very, very much. And I can tell you my heart is absolutely pounding. This is much more nerve-wracking than going on this morning. It's an absolute honour to be here today alongside the graduating students on this very special occasion and to join each and every one of you in recognising and celebrating their success. And it's also a huge privilege to have my achievements recognised by Edge Hill University. There are so many factors within my own life and my own aspirations and my own passions that align perfectly with Edge Hill. So from their outstanding research in the areas of health, sport and medicine to the amazing Tackling the Blues programme, which works with young people to help support their mental health through physical activity, something that aligns pretty much perfectly with the work that I do in my own charity. So it's also brought me back to Lancashire, which is home. So thank you so much for having me and thank you so much for honouring me today. Graduands, it's a new word for me, graduands. This is a really great day for you, and it's a real pleasure to be here to celebrate it with you, especially so because you are my people. Within the world of general practice, those of us who are very passionate about sport and physical activity and how that can change lives, and actually who use sport and activity to look after our own mental health, to manage our own stress, and to build resilience within ourselves, we call each other the sweaties. So you are all sweaties, and however you sweat to give you those benefits, please keep doing it, and it'll see you through. So whilst my usual topic when I'm public speaking is sport and physical activity, you already know loads about that, I'd like to talk to you for the next couple of minutes about opportunity and success. The truth is that we don't live in a world with equal opportunity, as we've heard about already. So if you're not born with wealth, if you're not male, if you're not white, if you weren't born in this country, or if you're living with a physical or mental disability, then the world will not necessarily swing open the doors of opportunity for you in the same way that it might for others. But that's okay. In fact, sometimes that can even be a good thing, as long as you're aware of this fact and you know how to overcome it. Some of us just have to look a little bit harder to find the opportunities and understand that if a door gets slammed in your face, that doesn't necessarily mean no, it means maybe. If a door gets slammed in your face, you go around the side of the building, have a look. There might be a window that's slightly ajar. You can get a crowbar and you could get in. Now, I'm talking figuratively. Please don't crowbar your way into any buildings, actually. And I've done a little bit of that crowbarring myself over the years. I always wanted to be a doctor. From the age of 3, I think I first declared it, and I didn't really have a backup plan. And whilst others doubted me at times, and I also doubted myself, there was part of me that always knew that one day I'd find a way to make it. An example of that is when I was in Year 9 at school and I was doing my options to decide which GCSEs to do. I went to a state school in quite a deprived area in the north, in East Lancashire. And some of my teachers said it would be a good idea to come up with some more realistic aspirations, to come up with something that was more achievable. But I think that just kind of made me more determined. But I did doubt myself as well, and I think we all doubt ourselves. We all have that little voice on our shoulder, that little, you can almost imagine like a little gremlin that's saying to you, you can't do it, you're not good enough. I had one earlier today. And that little gremlin is actually there to protect you. It's there to serve you. But sometimes you just have to turn to that voice and say, do you know what, actually, I've got this, and yes, I can. And don't let your own fear hold you back. The one teacher that did always say to me, yes, you can, was my PE teacher. And that's another reason, I think, why I've always been so passionate about sport and physical activity. She mostly used to say that to me when I was stood on the start line ready to run the 200 metres. And I'd be going, no, I can't do it. She's like, yes, you can. But those 3 words, yes, you can, are very important. And they're the words that underpin a lot of the work that we do with our charity at the moment. And sometimes it's got to come from yourself. You've got to tell yourself, yes, you can, because you absolutely can. And whilst it sounds exciting that I spent some time out of education, being a landscape gardener, being a holiday rep in Ayia Napa, I lived in Tenerife for a while as well, working as a waitress in a cocktail bar, actually. The truth is that was because my A-level results were not sufficient to get me into medical school. So I got a B, a C, and an E at A-level because of a lot of things that were going on at the time. So my goal and my aspirations could have ended there. Instead, I took myself off to Ayia Napa, had some time out, and what I decided to do when I returned back to this country was get into work, but I got myself as close to my dream as I possibly could. So I did work in nursing homes. I was working as a member of the bank staff at the local hospital, so any unqualified jobs that they had, people ringing in sick, I'd go and work in the hospital. And then I worked as a care assistant on one of the wards in the hospital. When I finally decided to go to university as a mature student, I couldn't get into medicine, but I could do biomedical sciences at Newcastle, which was taught in the medical school. So I was just getting myself as close as I could. And then one day, a few weeks into that course, an opportunity arose in front of me, a huge opportunity. The lecturer came into the room and he said, it was a lecture theatre like this, full of, I think there were about 300 of us across all the different biomedical science degrees. And he said, we recognise there are people in this room who would make great doctors, and you haven't made it onto medicine because you didn't get the grades or you didn't pass the interview or for another reason. So we're going to potentially allow 6 out of the 300 to get into medical school and go back into first year next year. And I thought, this is my chance. So in order to do that, I had to get a first in every single module in the first semester. It was an essay application as to why you want to be a doctor and what relevant experience you've had. And then they interviewed 12 people for the 6 places. Only 2 of us passed the interview. And then that was conditional on getting a first in all of the modules in semester 2. So I was the only one. It's the first time that happened. They were the first university to do it, and they didn't know if they were going to do it again. So there was an opportunity, and that's the hardest I've ever worked in my life that year, but it paid off. We often say this to the young people that we work with. We all have a different path to where we get. So for me, in a way, the start of medical school, the first day was the start line. But the harder you have to work to get to the start line, the easier the race will be. And from that first day of medical school, a lot of my peers had come from a private education system. They had a lot of additional support tutoring. I have to say, I played rugby at university. I had a job. I had a great time. I went out a lot. And I'm not going to say I found it easy, but I definitely found it easier than a lot. And whilst my path was tortuous and woven and difficult to get there, all of those experiences along the way helped me and essentially made me a better doctor. And then it didn't end there. So opportunities, gladiators, people say, how did that happen? I was in my second year out of medical school and they were looking for contestants for the next show of Gladiators when it was rebooted on Sky. So I applied to be a contestant, mostly because there was a big prize fund and I had quite a hefty student loan to pay off. And went to the audition and they asked me to return the following week to audition to be one of their new gladiators. A few weeks later, I was on the ward, I got the phone call, would you come and wear lycra for the next few months? So I spoke to my senior colleagues and some of the consultants said, if you do this, this is career suicide. You mustn't do it. You're a doctor now, stay. I ignored them, I did it. Again, brilliant decision. So never be told you can't, because yes, you can. And then TV. So I work with Philip and Holly on the sofa on this morning. And people say, well, how did that come about? Again, there was an opportunity, but it was a glimmer of an opportunity that I was ready and waiting for. When I was at medical school and we'd often talk about, are you going to be a surgeon or a paediatrician? I always said I'm going to be a GP, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend half of the week in Newcastle, half of the week in London. I'll go on the radio on a Sunday, I'll come back to Newcastle, do a couple of days of general practice. I'll go back down to London at the end of the week and I'll sit on the sofa with Philip and Fern, who it was then, and do This Morning, and then have the weekend in London. I never thought for a second it would actually happen. It was a joke, it was a pipe dream, but I must have said those words 100 times. So when I found myself in a position, in a consultation as a GP with a patient whose daughter works on This Morning, I was primed, I was ready. I did not let her leave that room until I said, by the way, if your daughter's ever looking for new doctors, and that's how it came about. So the producer was Emma. I'm now goddaughter to our little girl, and I'm good friends with her mum, Val. Success also has its downsides. I was actually first contacted by Edge Hill in 2019, and because of what's been happening over the past few years, it's ended up being now that I've come. So I've had a bit of time to prepare for today and sort of get myself in the right position. But I do stand here with a certain level of discomfort. It's called imposter syndrome. And listening to Andy then read out all those accolades and achievements, it was a little reminder to me that, do you know what, actually, I am standing here for a reason. I have got some achievements, and whilst that young, asthmatic, shy girl from Burnley will always be inside me, I am a doctor, I am a gladiator, and I should be recognised for my achievements, and that's to all of you as well. Each and every single one of you, you're here for a reason. I don't know what lies ahead for you. I don't know if you know what lies ahead for you, but just to finish, my recipe for success would be, number one, work hard. Even if you're Boris Johnson, you've got to work hard. So if you're not, then you've got to work hard. There's no substitute for hard work, so be willing to work hard. Number two is about that self-belief. Believe in yourself and allow your aspirations to be high. Remember to say that little voice on your shoulder, yes, you can, because you can. And the third one is about opportunity. We all get opportunities, but the door isn't swung open for all of us. Some of us do have to go around the side and look for that window. So carry your crowbar with you, be ready, be prepared, and when those opportunities come, jump on them and don't let them go. So congratulations today to all of you. Good luck for the future, and I'll see you on the other side.
Pro-Chancellor, each year working in partnership with the university, the Students' Union invites nominations from students to recognise those staff, both academic and non-academic, who have made the greatest difference to their time at university. They receive hundreds of nominations, and this year is no different. From these nominations, just a handful of awards are made, and the work of these exceptional colleagues is recognised at these ceremonies. Today, I would like to invite Ben Broadhurst, the Students' Union President for the Faculty of Education, to present the award for the Personal Tutor Hero, Faculty of Arts and Sciences. The award winner is a colleague whose students say, and I quote, "Sarah has made our time at university an absolute delight. Her lessons are exceptionally well planned, and she fostered an interaction between all, regardless of the speed bumps that coronavirus threw at her." I personally have had to overcome many challenges in many different ways, and without the support of Sarah, I would have struggled. With all her help and positive reinforcement, which goes above and beyond what is expected of a personal tutor, I can finally see the light at the end of this year and the possibility of graduating with my course. The award goes to Sarah Hunt.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of Academic Board, I present students who are candidates for awards today. For defending a doctoral thesis entitled, "They're in Every Breath We Take, Emotions and Emotion Management in the Everyday Doing of Netball Coach Educators' Work," I present Claire Maskery. For defending a dissertation entitled "Investigating the Effects of Different Fitness Levels and Sleep on Memory Performance," I present Caitlin Grace Hall. For defending a dissertation entitled "The Effects of a 30-gram pre-sleep whey protein supplement on sleep variables and mood state in middle-aged to older females," I present Georgia Emily Maudsley. For defending a dissertation entitled "The Effects of Acute Transresveratrol Ingestion on Exercise Metabolism and Performance," I present Benjamin James Dodson. For defending a dissertation entitled "The Influence of Fixture Congestion on the Physical Performance Metrics of Elite Youth Soccer Players," I present Sam Napier. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Physical Education in School Sport, Daniel Adams. Libby Joe Ashcroft. Charlie Michelle Aud. Nadine Joanne Beck. Nathan Bibby. Jack Blackwell. Courtney Britton. Millie Davis. Lois Jade Doran Collins. George Erskine. Katie Evans. Alex Page Ford. Jamie Robert Ford. Jasmine Leonie Gardner. Abby Lee Gavin. Brandon William Edward Gemmell. Finley Earl Hampson. Maisie Elaine Hawkins. Kai Joe Lee Hilton. Sophie Louise Hudson. Thomas Craig Jackson. Anna Louise James. Katie Megan Jones. Aaron Christopher Kelleher. Holly Louise Lester. Jack Everton Lister. Daniel Stephen Long. Robert Connor Mannering White. Rachel Emily Milburn. Lucy Mabel Mills. Rhys James Parkinson. Ella Audrey Pemberton. Nathan Thomas Phelan. Samuel Roberts. Natasha Rowlands. Chloe Faye Sim. Molly Brooke Smith. Victoria Lily Smith. Lucy Hannah Stowell. Matthew James Strong. Sam Douglas Thompson. Neve May Thorne. Rico De Monte White. Emma Louise Stacy Whitehouse. Michael Wilson. Kate Winston. Josh Lee Yates. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sports Coaching and Development, Olivia Beechuk. Jack Francis Stephen Booth. Connor John Clark. Cian John Clark. Adam Coleman. Andrew Robin Curfey. William Lewis George Edwards. Megan Holly Evans. Alexander David Gagan. Bradley Calvin Derek Heaney. Emily Kate James. Liam Owen Jones. John David Kinsella. Duncan William Lyle. Josh Thomas Meredith. Alex George Murphy. Stephen Christopher Nicklin. Jenny Owen. Frank Alfie Pettigrew. Emma Rundle. Jack Cole Scrivens. William Andrew James Smith. William Sean Tipping. Eve Isabel Walker. Virginia Amy Rowe. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sports Development and Management, Jack Adrian Mills. Saffron Victoria Quinlan. Daniel Thomas Slater. Adam Scott Turner. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sports Management and Coaching, Connor Rees Hampshaw. Scott Gary Jackson. Callum David Johnson. Lauren Marie Pendleton Nash.
Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sport and Exercise Science, Emily Jane Armstrong. Imogen Eve Barnes. Adam Robert Barrowcliffe. Sean Ensol Bennett. Ryan Nathan Birch. William Howard Buckless. Laura Bauman. Ellie Jo Chappell. Kai Luca Crouch-Ross. Bradley Ross Berger Edge. Jacob Graham. Jessica Lydia Graham. Jack Samuel Griffiths. Cameron Joseph Hale. Joseph Andrew Heaton. Lucy Vegas Hepworth. Charlie Lois Hignett. Dylan Holt. Thomas Arthur Johnston. Cameron David Lamb. Mackenzie Eve Leonard. Emily Ann Llewellyn. Natalie Sarah Lloyd. Robin Ashley Xanthia Jane Martin. Joseph Anthony Nash. Ellis Anthony O'Keefe. Ryan Martin O'Neill. Eleanor Louise Peat. William Alexander Pitt. Joshua Alexander Ridley. Imogen Robson. Alexander Rodon. Dylan Sandiford. Kyra Louise Simpson. Neve Hannah Simpson. Georgia Nicole Slynn. Daniel Christopher Smith. Aaron Jordan Sykes. Courtney Willis. Josh Lewis Winrow. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sport and Exercise Science, Exercise and Health, Harriet Olivia Allpress. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sports Therapy, Faye Elizabeth Ainsworth. Elida Akaya. Reese Darren Ailey. Jalal Al-Said. Ewan William Atkinson. Nathan John Bennett. Chloe Ann Birch. Tanya Catherine Booth. Kieran Joseph Bowden Bevan. Charlotte Broughton. Lauren Cardwell. Lee Stephen Carr. Dylan Chisnell. Kaylee Marie Cookson. Thomas James Crompton. Joseph Lee Cunningham. Ruby Donnelly. Jack Donahue. Archie Ewan Dobbins. Bethany Guangya Ferris. Grace Joanne Gilhooly. Hannah Georgia Glover. Dominic Gregson. Robbie Harrison. Taylor Marie Hartley. Amy Nicole Hendry. Charlotte Elise Haywood Fagan. Thomas James Edward Hodges. Rebecca Howard. Samantha Mary Jones. Jessica Louise Lawson. Olivia Bell Nesta. Ellie Osborne. Charlie Rowe. A.G. Scahill. Alau Mai Sharp. Rustam Stepans. Liam Michael Thompson. Samuel Alexander Toghill. Jack Ty. Curtis Jake Walker. Daniel Robert Walker. Kyle Joseph Whitaker. Eve Alexandra Williams. Jodie Lee Williams. Megan Hannah Willington. Bachelor of Science in Sports Health Studies, Callum Ian William Dickman. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of students.
Sore hands? You're a noisy lot. All that applause, but as of yet, no one's got an award. And also, I got a little error to correct as well. I didn't give Zoe that certificate. So, here's my apologies. Now it's your turn. By the authority vested in me as the Vice-Chancellor of Edge Hill University, I hereby confer the Edge Hill University Awards for which you have been presented, and I congratulate you all. Wave those hats.
Hope you've enjoyed today's ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt you're ready for some refreshments. These can be found in the central campus. Picnic hampers are available around the hub area. Can I now wish you a safe journey home? And I now declare this ceremony closed. Thank you.